So today we are going to be talking about hair loss, the hair frustration with hypo, some truth, some hard truth, some blunt truth, some tough love, and things that you can absolutely do about it. I'm Amie Hornaman, functional medicine practitioner, nutritionist, and specialist in treating thyroid conditions, broken metabolisms, and hormone imbalances. My goal for over 24 years has always been to help my patients get their life back. And that's what we're here to give you. We're giving you the simple, actionable strategies to actually fix your thyroid. That's why I created the Thyroid Fix podcast. So if you're struggling with weight, energy, brain fog, and hair loss, then hey, you're in the right place. Let's get you fixed. So this is going to be a game changer for you, and you can probably hear the excitement in my voice. The latest introduction, the latest member of the family to the Fixxr line is Metabolism Fixxr. And this, oh my God, I formulated this just for all my people out there that need to lose weight, that need help in the weight loss department, that can't lose weight no matter what they do, that feel like they have a slow metabolism, and that might be thinking of trying all those peptides out there, you know, the Beverly Hills soccer mom drug of choice for weight loss peptides. Or even if you're on them already and you're like, man, these are really expensive and I'm still not losing weight, add in Metabolism Fixxr. Here's what I did. I took the power of T2, which increases your basal metabolic rate while you are sitting there watching Netflix. You're burning fat while you're watching Netflix. I combined it with a very unique patented ingredient called Suppressa. Suppressa has multiple clinical trials backing its efficacy in reducing your appetite, decreasing snacking, and providing way more control over your food intake. It is amazing. We also see improved emotional well-being, just decreased food cravings all around, reduced hunger, and weight management. Add on top of that, we have green tea extract. We have purple forest purple tea extract, both of which affect the metabolism in a very positive way without the jitters of normal fat burning supplements out there from the 1980s and 90s, right? The ones that made you feel like you're having a heart attack. You will not have that in any of my supplements, Thyroid Fixxr or Metabolism Fixxr. But Metabolism Fixxr, ooh, yeah, we kicked it up a notch. It is in powder form, so you can drink it through your day. It's going to flavor your water. We got orange crush and refreshing citrus. I love them both. It is going to keep you under control all day long. So you throw a couple scoops in your water bottle in the morning, throw a scoop or two in your water bottle throughout the day. You will have fat burning and appetite control the entire day for what? An eighth of a price of the peptides? Oh my God, you can't go wrong. So grab some Metabolism Fixxr today. Please let me know how you do on it. I'm super excited for you. Super excited. First of all, when we are talking about hair loss and hypo, so what I hear from my patients is the frustration with pulling out chunks of hair out of their hairbrush, hair in their hands in the shower, hair loss, hair in the sink. They're seeing just gobs and handfuls come out, and also thinning of the hair, sometimes hair loss in patches, and a receding hairline. So these are all common complaints with hypothyroidism and very, very frustrating, especially as a woman. Your hair means a lot to you for your look, for your style, and that really starts to take a mental and emotional toll on you when you are battling the hair loss. So what I will say for those of you on their journey to being optimized, be patient. The hair is not important to the body, and we're going to get more into this at the very end. But that's going to be essentially the last thing that comes back. Your body wants to handle your cell function, your heart. It will even lose weight and give you energy before it starts improving your hair. So that's part one.
have to be patient. You are not going to see miraculous hair growth or your hair all of a sudden, like I waved the magic wand, get strong and luxurious and shiny and long in 3 months. That's not going to happen. First of all, the hair goes through a growth cycle. So we go from a growing phase to a dormant phase to a falling out phase. And that takes a while. For everyone, it's a bit different. If hairdressers are out there, you can correct me, but I want to say it's about a month cycle to go through those 3 phases. And then when you are hypo and you are not optimized, that's going to be a little bit longer. You're going to have that growth cycle extended because remember, you are hypo. Everything is low and slow and takes a while to catch up. So you're hypothyroid, you're on the journey to being optimized. Maybe you're working with a practitioner, such as myself, that knows what to do with you, knows the right medications, the dosing and the testing and everything that we have to do to get your hair growing back and to get you in an optimized state. And what if you're not? So if you are, good job. If you're not, and you're like, hey, I'm floundering here, I still can't lose weight, I still don't have energy, that's where you need to get optimized. So that is step 1. You must get your thyroid optimized. And that means we look at your symptoms, we look at your labs, we look at your labs from a functional point of view. So we want them optimal and not just quote unquote normal. I talk about this a lot in many of my videos on YouTube, on here. We discuss this over and over and over again. We want optimal and not just normal. So that's part 1. We have to get you optimized. We have to find the right medication, the right dose. We have to address other issues, some of which we're going to go through today with your hair. And we need to lay out that plan and get you on that path of optimization. That is absolutely step 1. So many of you out there that are listening, I know you're already on that road. You're working with someone, you're working with me. You're like, I think I'm on the right med here. I'm feeling better. I'm losing weight. My energy's coming back, but still the hair is driving me crazy. It's still falling out. It's still thinning. Okay. So part 2 of this are your meds. Now, I said optimize, meaning if we're working together, we're either gradually getting your medication to the right dose, or you are at the right dose and we're kind of seeing how that works for you, looking at your symptoms, retesting and whatnot. If you are not working with someone experienced, if you're with a conventional medical doctor, chances are your medication is too low. So number 1, chances are you're on Synthroid only. That's probably not going to cut it. Number 2, they're probably diagnosing and dosing you based on your TSH alone. That's not going to cut it. You're not going to get optimized that way. If your medication dose is too low, or you're not even on the right combination of meds, then you're going to remain in a hypo state. And as we know, hair loss and hypothyroidism go hand in hand. That's one of the symptoms. So you're going to remain in that hypo state, and your hair certainly will not get better from that. The other thing to think of, which is more rare, is that you could be too high. I honestly, I even hesitate to say that because it is so rare. I can honestly say maybe 1 patient every 10 years of me doing this. So 2 patients in 24 years have been too high. But that's very rare. So I'm just going to throw that out there and mention it, but it's rare. There's also a chance that you are allergic to the dyes or the fillers in your medication. So many of you out there will tell me, well, I was on Levo and my hair loss was horrible. And then I changed to Tirosint and the hair loss stopped. So you're in the same realm. You're in the same category of medication, T4. You're just changing the type of medication, the manufacturer. You're changing what's in it by changing brands. So if you are experiencing hair loss on Synthroid, maybe you need to change to Tirosint. If you're experiencing hair loss on Levo, maybe you need to change to Synthroid. And then there are the different manufacturers of each of those medications, especially generic. We have multiple different generic manufacturers that some of them use dyes, and some people, especially those with Hashimoto's, you're already set up to experience more allergies anyways. So you will find yourself very sensitive to chemicals and dyes and fillers in the different medications. So it might just be that you need, maybe you're on the right dose and you're still just experiencing the hair loss piece. You've already lost the weight. You feel better in general, but the hair loss still has you. You know, the quality of your hair, the hair loss, the hair thinning, that's still got its grip on you. And you're really, really frustrated. But we looked at your numbers and those are good. And all your other symptoms are really nice. And they're responding to the therapy that we have you on. It might be the matter of just changing that type of medication, that T4 to a different T4. So think about that. You might need to change meds. Now, when you first start on T3 medication, let's say you've been on T4 only for years. We know that doesn't work. We start to optimize you and we either put you on one of the NDTs, which remember, you can also change within the NDT family too. So if you're on Armor and that's making your hair fall out, change to NP, change to Thyroid. Right? So you can change within the NDT category, but maybe let's say you just start on NDT, or we just add Cytomel, liothyronine, T3 to your T4 dose, to your T4 medication. And then you say, oh my goodness, my hair is falling out more. What did we just do? We sped up your metabolism. In that word metabolism, we all think about weight and the ability to lose weight, but we forget that metabolism is the metabolism of all cells. It even includes our hair growth cycle. So when you speed that up, remember we talked about it earlier, when you're hypo, when you're in that deep hypo state, everything is going to be sluggish. Your hair growth cycle is going to take longer. You might be in the dormant phase where it's not growing at all for longer periods of time. You might be in the falling out phase for a little bit longer period of time. Now we add in that T3, we get your metabolism up and running, and all of a sudden you start losing a bunch of hair as soon as you start on it. And you think, oh, T3 isn't right for me. No, that's not it. We just sped up the whole process. And yes, in the beginning, you will get extra hair loss. That will balance out. So you have to kind of maintain yourself through that while checking all of these other conditions that can correlate with being in a hypo state and getting optimized and can contribute to hair loss as well that we will talk about. So keep that in mind if you're starting on T3, that is a possibility. Okay, another point to look at, your zinc and B12 levels. We know B12 is depleted with metformin. How many out there are insulin resistant and on metformin? Type 2 diabetic and on metformin. Metformin depletes B12 levels. If you are not supplementing with the proper B12 methylated form, then you will find that you experience more hair loss. Low zinc levels will also big time contribute to hair loss. Big time. You want to check your B12. You want to check your zinc. You want to check your hormones. Because like I said, so just like insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes go hand in hand with hypo and Hashi, we see that a lot. 99% of my patients have insulin resistance with hypothyroidism. We have to treat both. Maybe not with metformin. We can use berberine as well. I've talked about that. I have a separate video you can watch on that. But we have to treat both. But if we're treating with metformin, it's depleting B12. We have to think about that. Now, with hormones, what if you have PCOS? PCOS also goes hand in hand with hypothyroidism. So when we see PCOS, we see low progesterone usually, and we see high androgens in women. So we'll see high free and total testosterone. And we also have to check something called DHT, dihydrotestosterone. If that is high, that's really what causes the receding hairline in women and also some bald patches in the back. So if you are experiencing bald patches, it might not be alopecia. We will get to alopecia in a moment. But it might be that you need to check your DHT levels because if those are high, it's going to cause male pattern baldness in women. You might also experience some hair growth on the face and the chin, increased acne. There are other symptoms that go along with those high androgen levels. But if you have PCOS, and even if you don't have PCOS, let's get your hormones tested. I want to see the estrogen and progesterone too. I don't want to see you in an estrogen dominant state. Not only is that going to cause hair loss, but it's also going to interfere with T4 to T3 conversion of your thyroid hormones. So let's check estrogen. Let's make sure your progesterone isn't in the toilet. Let's make sure that your androgens, your free and total testosterone, DHT is not high as a woman. If you're a man, let's make sure that your free and total testosterone is optimal for you and that you're not in the toilet that way, because I see a lot of low T in my male patients, a lot. Next one, biggie. Ferritin. You knew I was going to say that, right? So many of you are anemic, and we do an iron panel. So on my hypothyroid patients, Hashimoto patients, we do a full iron panel. And that means total iron, percent saturation, TIBC, and ferritin. Ferritin is your storage. That is where your iron is stored. So you can actually have low ferritin levels with all the other numbers looking kind of pretty, looking like you're normal. But if you have low ferritin, not only is that going to keep you in a hypo state and impair T4 to T3 conversion, because ferritin is very, very important for the thyroid, but it's also very important for your hair independent of the thyroid. So your hair needs an adequate ferritin level. Now, I like to use, so when I touch on certain deficiencies, I'm going to say what I use with my patients. And I also put a couple of links in the description. So make sure you check those out. I like to use Ferrochel Iron by Designs for Health. You know I'm a Designs for Health fan. The Ferrochel Iron is very, very easy on the stomach. Very, very easy. So it does not cause constipation because, hey, if you're hypo, you're already dealing with some constipation. And it does not cause upset stomach. So I love Ferrochel Iron. Sometimes we use 1 or 2, depending on the patient's ferritin level, but you really want to be between 50 and 70 on your ferritin, 50 and 70 in most labs. I know some of my listeners are in the UK and Australia and in other countries, but for the standard lab value range in the US, 9 times out of 10, you want it between 50 and 70. If it's low, won't grow. Remember that with ferritin. Low won't grow. If your ferritin is low, your hair will not grow. And low will not allow for optimization of your thyroid. Like I said, it will impair that T4 to T3 conversion, and optimal ferritin levels are very, very, very important for your thyroid to function properly. Another one. Oh, so many of you are going to hate me on this. Biotin. Biotin doesn't work for your hair. It does not work for your hair. I know there's going to be some of you out there that go, I would use biotin and it works for my hair and it grew. That's good. You are one of the few. So keep using it if it works for you. But I'm going to say it's probably not the biotin. It's probably something else you're doing. Studies have come out. And for my science nerds, I will find the links and I will post them because I like to read the studies too. Studies have come out that say, you know, this whole biotin thing that we had going on to grow people's hair, not so much. Not only that, if you're on biotin, you have to go off of it before you get your thyroid tests done. And you have to remember to go off of it. So why not just leave it out altogether? If it's in a B complex, fine, leave it in there. But you're not taking the B complex for your hair only. You're taking it for your energy levels, for optimization of digestion of foods, of carbohydrates, for your cells to replace depleted nutrients. So many different reasons you're taking a B complex other than that little bit of biotin that's in there. Biotin is not going to grow your hair. Collagen will definitely help. So some of you have heard my whole body story. Some of you have not, so I'm going to retell it. This is a few years ago that my hair started to go to crap. So I checked off all the boxes, thyroid optimized, my zinc levels are fine. I was taking B12, those levels are optimal. My ferritin was optimal. I was like, what is going on? Even my hairdresser, my very, very good friend, Miss Shannon, she's amazing. I drive 2 hours to see her. Been seeing her for 20 some years. She's like, what is going on with your hair? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It was kind of winter. It was kind of fall. I'm thinking maybe the heat turned on. But this is months and months and months. And we were doing the treatments on it and we were trying to strengthen it and nothing was working. So I tried. I will not say the brand that I tried, but I tried a very, very well-known good brand of collagen for a couple of months and it did not work. Then I tried another very well-known brand of collagen for a couple of months and it did not work. Then I tried Designs for Health collagen because I had a light bulb moment come on, even though I was using Designs for Health and I love them and I was using them for myself and my family and my patients and their stuff works. I don't know why I never looked to see if they had a collagen. But when I looked, they did. And I started on it. Started on the collagen. And then within a month or two, Shannon says, hey, your hair's come back. I'm like, I know. Don't say anything. Don't jinx it, right? Knock on wood. But yes, it was actually coming back. It was getting strong. It was growing again. Whole body collagen. So then I tell one of my patients, she says to me, so she's teaching me, she says to me, do you know why it worked? I said, no. She said, well, because it has 3 different types of collagen in it. You need the 3 different types for it to work. Those other collagens that you tried, they only have 1. Sometimes you learn from your patients too. So whole body collagen. Then I gave it to a patient that has alopecia. Alopecia is another autoimmune condition, by the way. So if you have Hashimoto's, you could have alopecia, and that could be the cause of your bald spots. Gave it to a patient with alopecia. Her hair started growing back in those areas of baldness. She's been using it ever since. 2 other patients were asked if they had hair extensions. Different states, not related. It absolutely works. So I put the link to the whole body collagen in the description. You can check that out. You can grab it if you want to try it. A little bit pricey, but worth it. Worth it. You have to pay for quality, people. You cannot save money by buying your stuff from Walmart and saving that extra $10 or $20. No, you are actually wasting the money that I wasted money on the big name collagen, on quite a few tubs of the big name collagen. So it's not that I saved a couple bucks by spending, 40 instead of 50. I actually wasted 40 on the tubs of collagen that didn't do anything. So that's a big one. Buy to know collagen, yes. So since we brought up alopecia, let's talk about it. Sometimes it's alopecia, and that's why you're losing your hair. Now, alopecia does not always have to come in the form of a big old bald spot. It could be just accumulated hair coming out. You could get those globs of hair when you're in the shower or in your hairbrush or in the sink. So that could be alopecia as well. And for that, we need to talk about the immune system. So you have to have adequate zinc levels to have a strong immune system. You better be taking some really good quality vitamin C. You better be taking vitamin D that is mixed with K, and your vitamin D level better be over 80 to be optimal. Here's the other thing. If you missed last week's talk, and I've been talking about this a lot because I feel very, very strongly about this product, AHCC. So we interviewed Mimi Lindquist, and I have the link in the description for her store, as well as a 10% off code for AHCC. This product is amazing when it comes to your immune system. So she actually names her product Immune Intel because it regulates the immune system. It increases natural killer cells. We're actually calling this, in the functional medicine realm, a cure for cancer, because there is documented evidence that it cures cancer. There's a book on Amazon. It's HCC. There's a subtitle under it. I have it downstairs. I would grab it for you, by Fred Pescatore. So Mimi actually interviews Fred Pescatore on her podcast, The Medicine. So if you haven't checked that out, you got to check that out, because she interviewed me a couple weeks ago, and then you can kind of scroll through all of her different podcast episodes and find the one where she interviews Fred Pescatore. He wrote the book. He documents multiple stories that were actually, and he lists the research articles. So for my science nerds, you can go in and look them up too, where multiple cases of cancer have gone into remission. Tumors have disappeared. People with RA experience a huge, tremendous effect on the rheumatoid arthritis, pain, swelling in the joints, to almost absolute nothing. This works on HPV. It works on EBV. It works on HIV, all viruses, because it is upregulating the immune system. And, it might just protect us from that virus that's out there now that we can't say because we don't want to get kicked off. Immune intelligence. So with autoimmune, and there's actually no documented evidence with AHCC and Hashi, but if you connect the dots and use common sense, if it's working on all these other autoimmune conditions, chances are it's going to work on Hashimoto's too. It's not for lack of trying. So maybe we need to do some experimentation and see if your antibodies come down, if your Hashimoto's goes into remission when we use it, right? No documented evidence on Hashimoto's. However, again, using common sense, if it works on all these other autoimmune conditions, we see RA patients getting off their medication. It's going to work with Hashimoto's and alopecia as well. You are upregulating that immune system. Here's the other tie with hair. You know, your body is smart, right? Your body is actually smarter than you give it credit for. And your hair is the least of its concerns. I'm just going to tell it to you straight, right? So if you have Hashimoto's, you have hypothyroidism, you're still not optimized, you're battling low vitamin D, your immune system is in the crapper, you're low in zinc, you're low in B12, you have insulin resistance, you're borderline type 2 diabetic, your hormones are all over the damn place. Do you really think that your body cares about your hair? No. It's going to heal you on all other fronts first. Now, when I interviewed Mimi, she actually said that her hair got thicker and stronger and improved from it because she didn't have many health conditions to kind of rectify with the use of AHCC. So she's using it prophylactically as a preventative for cancer. She's using it to just support her immune system overall. And it has so many different health benefits. People see their skin clear up. It does balance out hormones. So she did experience the thickness and growing and luxurious hair from it. But if you're battling multiple health conditions and you're still under a great deal of stress, your body doesn't care about your hair. Now, if you check all those boxes and get your thyroid optimized and get your D up and get your zinc up and get your ferritin up, get your hormones balanced, make sure you check all of those boxes, then support your immune system. Maybe you use AHCC, maybe you use the collagen as well. Then you might see your hair eventually coming to life again, growing again, getting thicker again, stopping the falling out, because your body can finally say, hey, now it's time to give some love to the hair, because, you know, all these other points are fixed now. I want you to also think about stress, right? So when we are under stress, stress can be tied back to the immune system. So when we talk about stress, yes, you can have high cortisol levels. What does high cortisol do? Interferes with T4 to T3 conversion, impairs the thyroid functioning, impairs T3 from getting into the cell. So right there, you have an issue. You might be in a hypo state, thus the hair loss and the hair thinning, or stress turns off the immune system. So again, in fight or flight, the body being so intelligent, it knows how to shuttle energy to the organs. It's going to shuttle energy to where it needs, not your hair, because this isn't for survival, right? So your body is so darn smart that it is going to shuttle energy in times of heavy stress to your organs to protect them, but it's not going to grow your hair. So you have to check every single box. You got to be patient. You got to get optimized. Check your meds. Are you allergic to any? Do you need to change any? Did you just start T3? How's your zinc? How's your B12? How's your ferritin? How's your hormones? Are you taking biotin? Are you not taking collagen? Do you have alopecia? Are you under a ton of stress? Did you get your cortisol levels checked? What about DHT? What about testosterone? And then once you do all of that, then you might be able to say, hey, I just have bad genetics. But that's not usually it. It's not usually it. Weston Childs, he says the same thing. We say a lot of the same things. It's not just genetics. We don't look at your genetics when you first come to see me. No, we're going to check all these other boxes first. And then usually once we do, then we start to see a change in the hair and the hair growth and the hair strengthening and the hair look. So hopefully this helps you. Write it down, check the boxes off, share this, because there's so many people out there that are not on and listening right now that they need this help. They need this little checklist to go down through and to say, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. I'm still struggling with my hair, which you can always reach out to me. And we can always work together to make sure that you are optimal and not just normal. You might have been told that you're just fine, and maybe even a doctor used the word optimal. But is it functional medicine optimal? Don't know. Right. So please reach out to me, contact me if you want to see about working together. I would love, love, love to help you. Please share this because other people need it. I promise you, they really do. I get tons and tons of questions about hair on the daily, and I know it's a struggle piece. I know you're on the struggle bus with your hair right now, but I promise you it can change. There are so many little things that we can do to make a huge impact on your hair. Thank you so much for listening to the Thyroid Fix podcast. Please share this and any episode that you absolutely love on your social media platforms. And please give me a review. It is so appreciated. It just gets the message out even more. Now, as a disclaimer, we know that this is just intended for educational purposes only and is not meant to treat or diagnose any medical condition. You can always consult your healthcare professional with any questions. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to my website at amiehornaman.com. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Amie Hornaman Nutrition. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel to see live videos and all the good stuff that I put out through the week in addition to this podcast. Just search me on YouTube and subscribe to my channel.